This is the street that we live on, Calle Toledo, in the La Latina area of Madrid. Our apartment building is in the background on the left. And inside our apartment, at least we have internet, a very tiny kitchen, a 2-burner stove, a washer, and our dryer. Right down the street from us stands this gate, the last one that was ever built in Madrid. It's right outside the metro station that we use every day to get around. And here's where we go to class. Plaza Mayor, a huge square in the city center, dates back to the 17th century. It's filled with shops and restaurants. In the center of the square is a statue of Felipe III. This bar in the square is filled with bullfighting memorabilia. A short walk away is Puerta del Sol, the bustling heart of Madrid. Constructed in the 18th century, this was originally the post office. On the central tower is the clock that chimes in the new year. And in front, the plaque on the ground marks Kilometer Zero, the official starting point for Spain's national roads. Here you'll also find a statue of Carlos III, a statue of the symbol of Madrid, the bear and the strawberry tree, a reproduction of the Mare Blanca, and Mark's favorite pastry shop. Also, there's the famous Tio Pepe sign, and my favorite place to get a bocadillo. Down the medieval flight of steps through the Arco de Cuchilleros, you'll find century-old taverns dug into caves under Plaza Mayor. Mercado de San Miguel. This is a 20th century building, and it used to be a regular fruit and vegetable market, but not anymore. It's a trendy gourmet eatery. At Plaza de la Villa is one of the oldest buildings in Madrid. The Almudena Cathedral, the principal church of the Diocese of Madrid. Construction began in 1883 and was not completed until 1993. The Royal Palace. Built on the site of a 9th century Moorish fortress, the solid granite structure has 2,800 rooms. To the east of the palace is Plaza Oriente. In the center is a huge statue of Felipe IV. There are 44 statues of Spanish monarchs lining the square. In Plaza de España, there is a monument to Cervantes, who wrote Don Quixote. The sculpture of Cervantes overlooks his two fictional characters, Don Quixote and Sancho Panza. The Reina Sofia Museum. A vertical garden outside the Caixa Forum. And a statue of Goya by the Prado. The Debode Temple, an authentic Egyptian temple dating back to the 2nd century BC. It was a gift to Spain from the Egyptian government for Spain's help in saving archaeological sites during the construction of the Aswan Dam. These turtles and this tropical garden are actually in the Atocha train station. Puerta de Alcalá. Cibeles Fountain, in front of the building that was once Madrid's central post office, the Fountain of Neptune, the Metropolis building by the Gran Via, Retiro Park, a 350-acre park in the center of the city. Here you'll find the Crystal Palace, a statue of the fallen angel, Lucifer, and a large artificial lake where you could rent a boat, especially popular on weekends. In the United States, it's Columbus Day. Here in Spain, it is also a national holiday commemorating Christopher Columbus's arrival in the Americas. We're at a cooking class where we learn to make gazpacho, paella, and buñuelos.
Le vamos a poner agua, un poquito, y le vamos a poner la mitad aquí, pero el pimiento verde y el pepino está abajo. ¿A que sí? Sí. Sí. Vinagre y la sal, y esto así. Tapamos. 3 o más. No sé si depende si son pequeñas o grandes. Like sports and stuff. I don't like computer. Alright, like really complicated. Really? Lo pongo aquí y hago así. Y vas moviendo. ¿Vale? Cuando ya esté eso, me llamas y venimos todos a terminarlo. ¿Vale? La manzana por ahora no la cogemos. Esperamos primero a esto. ¿De acuerdo? Sí.
Real slow. Real slow.
No me mientas.
Ew, what is that? Calamari? And sugar is like, hey, hot. Who's bringing? Thank you.
Es fácil, ¿no?
Sí. Sí.
Today is the Feast of the Virgin Mary, the female patron saint of Madrid. After a Mass at Plaza Mayor, there's a procession to the cathedral. went to Toledo as a group. Here's some of our fellow students and the instructors. We saw the Cathedral of Toledo, which was built in the 13th century. We had plenty of time to walk around and window shop. We were determined to get some marzipan because it's considered the best in Toledo. Manzanares, a 45-minute bus ride from Madrid, is a great place for hiking and rock climbing. The well-preserved castle here dates back to the 15th century. It appears in the movie El Cid. Cuenca, a medieval city built on the steep sides of a mountain. It's famous for its hanging houses that are built right up to the cliff edge. Avila, known for its medieval city walls, constructed in the 11th century. The Gothic-style cathedral, the church and convent of St. Teresa, built over the house where she was born. The walls completely surround the city, and you can walk along the top of them for almost the entire 1.5-mile distance. Escorial, a historical residence of the King of Spain. It functions as a monastery, a royal palace, a museum, and a school. This is also the final resting place for all but 3 of Spain's monarchs over the last 5 centuries. Valley of the Fallen. This complex was built between 1940 and 1958 and is a monument intended to commemorate all those who died on both sides during the Spanish Civil War. Its construction was ordered by General Franco, whose body is buried inside the basilica. Aranjuez was established as a place for resting and relaxation for the royal family. We went to the Andalusia region as a group. First stop, Granada, and its 16th century cathedral. Next, it's a walk through the Albayzin district for our vista view of the Alhambra. Today we visit the Alhambra, the most important and spectacular piece of Moorish architecture in Spain. Today we're in Seville at the cathedral that was built in the 15th and 16th century on the grounds of a former mosque. The Alcazar, or Royal Palace, built in the 14th century by Moorish craftsmen. Views of Seville from Giralda Tower. Tour by horse-drawn carriage. Our last day in the Andalusia region is a visit to the city of Cordoba. The Mezquita, or Great Mosque. Construction was started by the Muslims over 1200 years ago. It was converted into a cathedral in the 14th century. Today it is an active church. As a group, we went to Segovia. Its best-known historical monument is the aqueduct that was built towards the end of the 1st century. It measures 800 meters at its highest point. Until recently, it was still in use and is probably one of the best conserved Roman aqueducts in the world. The cathedral, the Alcazar. Supposedly a source of inspiration to Walt Disney, it served as a military fortress since Roman times, though constant renovations has changed its appearance, especially since the Middle Ages, when it was used as a royal palace. And of course for lunch, we had to try Segovia's signature dish, roast suckling pig. We're in Marrakesh for 2 days before our desert tour. This is the Koutoubia Mosque in the Medina. The Medina is the old fortified section of Marrakesh. Here you'll find stalls selling a wide variety of Moroccan fare. The square is filled with hustlers, like the snake charmer. I don't even want to tell you how much it costs to get this video. Back to our hotel in the more modern section of the city. We're very close to the new train station. Today, we're taking the sightseeing bus through Marrakesh. We go through the more modern section. Before we get to the Medina, where we always get lost anyway. The highlight of our trip to Morocco was our desert tour. It was a 2-day drive. We drove over the high Atlas Mountains. These are our traveling companions, Mike and Simon, at the highest point. This is Ben Hadou, a fortified city along the old caravan route between the Sahara and Marrakesh. Several films have been shot here, from Lawrence of Arabia to The Gladiator. We get to walk to the top and have a look around. Hear the call to prayer. As we pass through many of the small cities, we see a lot of red flags and other decorations. Our guide tells us it's because the king is coming for a visit. We stopped at a palmery. Along the way, we also stopped at a Casbah and got a tour.
These two is the candles, and this one for transporting tea glasses. This one for preparing couscous. This for the wool, making clothes, and these instruments for construction, for building. Here, this is a gas lamp. We can put the candle inside, like that, which gives very beautiful and romantic view, and in the same time we benefit from light. It's locked.
Yes, these little teeth push these up.
Yes, this is the key. We push, we enter it, we push up.
Yes.
You see this movement?
Yes.
And
it slides.
like for opening. Yes. And from outside, the look. Okay?
Yeah.
Tuck. Push up.
Great.
Okay. Here they write the part of the Quran they want to learn. They learn the part.
This is the Todra Gorge with 300-meter tall walls. This was our fanciest lunch spot. And after lunch, our guide picks dates right from the tree for us. We're approaching the dunes now. Before we can head off on our camel ride, we have to be properly outfitted.
Carnival line, Beirut. Yes. And the other caravan.
We ride for about an hour and a half before we reach our camp. We made it to camp. This is the dining area, and this is where we'll sleep tonight. Sunrise in the Sahara. Time to ride our camels back and end our trip to the desert. The square of King Pedro IV. In the 19th century, the square was paved with cobblestones in wave patterns. This elevator, completed in 1902, was designed by an apprentice of Gustav Eiffel. It connects the downtown streets to an upper square. The number 28 streetcar is a great way to get around and see the city. This is Madrid's bull ring. It's a huge arena. It can hold 25,000 people. Out front, people pose in front of the sculptures. Out back, there's a museum. Today, we're going to see a bullfight. The action is about to begin. The matadors enter the arena. Each matador will fight 2 bulls. Following the matadors into the arena are his assistants, the banderilleros and the picadors on horseback. Finally, there's the cleanup crew, which also includes the mules that are used to drag the bodies of the bulls from the ring.